miss our regular Sunday service. Those who are joining us on the Facebook, please accept our welcome offerings here today. And let's start by joining in opening prayer. Let's start. You begin already?
Yes.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanurmardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatguru Om Agakshe Varde Devi Akshare Brahmavadini Gayatri Jagat Mata Vishwayoni Namastute Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhur Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanan Mrityurmukshyamanamrita Om Prithvi Tvaya Dhrita Devi Tvam Vishnunadhrita Tvam Chadaryaman Devi Pavitram Kuru Chasanam Om Shri Prithvi Mata Yo Namaha Namami Om Apavitra Pavitrama Sarvashtam Gato Piva Yashmare Pundarikaksham Savahya Bhayantara Suchi Vashas Om Hasprakshalanam Samarpyami Govindaya Namaha Om Amritopastranamasi Swaha Om Amrita Pidhanmasi Swaha Om Satyam Yasha Shrirmai Shri Shrayatam Swaha Hasprakshalanam Samarpyami Govindaya Namaha Kushmule Sito Brahma Kushmadye Janardana Kusagare Sankram Devam Kushdharam Karomayam Om Yena Badbhubali Raja Danindro Mahabala Tintvam Prativarnami Raksha Machala Machala. We'll invite all to join us now in the young sparsh, the purificatory rites. We'll take first of all some water in our left hand. For those who are here, just perform the actions. You don't have to put water inside. And for those of you who are at home as well, do the same thing. Touch first the lips. Om Vangamase Astu Om Nasur Me Pranastu Eyes Om Akshanur Me Chakshurastu Ears Om Karanyor Me Shrotramastu Arms Om Bahur Me Balmastu Guys Om Urvo Me Ujuastu Alva Om Arishtani Me Angani Namastanvami Saha Santu. We will join now in the benediction mantras, the Swasti Vacham. For those who know it, please join. Om Hari Om Swasti Na Indro Vridasrava Swasti Na Pusha Vishvaveda Swasti Na Starkshurishthanemi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadhatu Om Paya Prithvivyam Paya Oshadhishu Payo Divyantarikshe Payodha Payaswati Pradesha Santomyam Om Vishnu Radatmasi Vishnu Shnatrishnu विष्णु सुरसि विष्णु ध्रुवसि विष्णुमसि विष्णवे तवा ओम अग्निर्देवता वासुदेवता सूर्योदेवता चंद्रमा देवता वसु देवता रुद्र देवता आदित्य देवता मरुतो देवता विश्वदेव देवता बृहस्पति देवता इंद्र देवता वरुण देवता ओम द्यौ शांतिर अंतरिक्ष गोम शांति पृथ्वी शांतिर आपा शांतिर औषधय शांतिर वनस्पति शांतिर विश्वदेवा शांतिर ब्रह्मा शांतिर सर्वगम शांतिर शांतिरेवा शांति सामा शांतिरेधि ओम विश्वानि देवा सवितर्द्वितानि परास्व यद्भद्रं तनआस्व ओम शुक्लं वर्णं देवा शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्ति ओम शांति 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 करा भवन्तु। प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। शरणं प्रभु consecrate our Vedi now. ओम भूरसि भूमिरसि दितिरसि विश्वधाय विश्वस्य भुवनस्य धात्री पृथ्वी अच्छा पृथ्वी त्रिगोंहा पृथ्वी मही गोम सह। प्रेम से बोलो श्री पृथ्वी माता की जय। शरणं प्रभु। The flowers in the hand, we join now in offering salutations of Bhagavan as Ganesha. Ganesha who is Vigneshwar, remover of obstacles, giver of success. We are asking, O Bhagavan, by your grace and blessings, may we have the intelligence, the knowledge, the wisdom to be able to recognize all of our challenges and the ability to overcome them all as well, so that victory can always be ours. So this Ganesha we join in humble salutations. Om Gajananam Bhutaganaadisevitam Kapitra Bhakshanam Umasatam Shokavinashakayatam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Omi Hirambamaesha Putra Samasta Vigna Vinasha Daksha Mangalya Puja Pratamam Pradhanam Grahana Pujan Bhagavan Namaste Om Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Triyambake Gauri Narayani Namastute Sri Ganeshaya Namah Namami Sri Gauri Mata Bhyo Namah Namami.
गणपति बप्पा मोरया मंगल मूर्ति मोरया गणपति बप्पा मोरया मंगल मूर्ति मोरया सिद्धि विनायक मोरया गिरिजानंदन मोरया सिद्धि विनायक मोरया गिरिजानंदन मोरया गणपति बप्पा जय मोरया
कृपा विघ्नहरं मंगलकरं जय जय गिरिजा ओम गच्छ गणेश गौरी देवी स्वस्तना परमेश्वरी अहं पूजा करिष्यामि ओम सदा सन्मुखो भव प्रेम से गौरी गणेश भगवान की जय शरणं प्रभु. The flowers in the hand again. We offer salutations to Mahalakshmi, Lakshmi symbolizing the divinity as the giver of prosperity, of wealth, of health, of beauty, of fortune. Most importantly, in Hindu philosophy, light is a symbol of wisdom as opposed to darkness, which symbolizes ignorance. So Devi asked for Devi, in a like manner, the light dispels the darkness from light. So may the darkness of our ignorance be replaced by the light of spiritual wisdom. To this Mahalakshmi, we join in humble salutations. Om Namastute Sri Pite Surpujite Shankar Chakra Gadahaste Mahalakshmi Namaste Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Mukti Mukti Pradayini Mantramurti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namaste Om Lakshmi Karotu Kalyan Arogam Sukha Sampada Namashatru Vinashaya Om Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Yo Namah Namami Evahayami Stapyami Pujyami Karishyami Ramyam Sushobham Divyam Sarva Saukyakaram Shivam Asram
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु माता रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः माता ओ माता जीवन की दाता नैया हमार करू पार रे मैया तू सबको पालनहार रे मैया तू सबको पालनहार माता की कोख से
clasp hands now, we glorify Bhagavan as Mahalakshmi. Om Matu Lakshmi Kari Kripa Karno Hriday Mevas Manokamana Siddha Kari Purvahunerias Trahi Trahi Dukharni Haro Devi Sarvas Jayati Jayati Jayakshmi Karisha Prunyakanash Mahalakshmi Namastubhyam Namastubhyam Sureshwari Haripriye Namastubhyam Namastubhyam Dayanidhe Om Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samstata Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah Namastasyai 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 Namo Namah Prem Slosi Mahalakshmi Mata Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. We offer salutations and obeisance to Sri Navgraha Devata, Navgraha symbolizing the planets in our solar system. We as Hindus, we accept our lives are influenced by the planetary positions. For this reason, we offer praises to Navgraha. Should the constellation of the planets not be propitious to us, depending upon the time and place of birth, as well as our own actions, then may our health, our lives not be affected any negative, any adverse matter. Especially today, we pray for those of our members who may be suffering in some way or the other, possibly from the negative effects of the graha. We ask Bhagavan to be the guide, to bless these individuals, to make them well, to make them whole, that they may once more be able to contribute to their homes and to their families with the easiest and least amount of pain and suffering. Especially today, we pray for Srimati Sheila Simbhudas, Srimati Janki Samaru, Shriman Birju Rampal, Srimati Anjani Ramphal, Srimati Harde Ramprasad, Shriman Dev Pamu, I think Dev needs to come out of this, Shriman Rai Sankar, Shriman Munasar Budhan, Srimati Kamini Devkinandan, Srimati Yolanda Bowen, Srimati Viveka Prasad, Srimati Rampati Lildhar, Shriman Udit Narayan, and Srimati Rini Visnath. There may be others that you know about. We pray for universal welfare for everyone. With this in mind, we pray for peace in the heavenly regions, peace in the atmosphere, peace upon the earth as it affects our own lives. Om Brahma Murari Sripurantakari Manusha Shri Bhumi Sutta Buddhasya Gurusya Sukha Shani Rahu Ketu Sarveda Shanti Kara Bhavantu Sarveda Shanti Kara Bhavantu Prem Swasi Navgraha Devata Ki Jai Sharanam Prabhu. Once again with flowers in the hand. We meditate now and offer our salutations to Mahavishnu, Vishnu symbolizing the all-pervasive Bhagavan who becomes manifest from time to time and age to age for the benefit of humankind, by whose grace and blessings the dumb speaks, the lame walks, the blind sees, the impossible becomes possible. Today we ask, O Bhagavan, in the same way become manifest in the world for the benefit of mankind. May become manifested in my heart, be the guide of my intellect, guiding me in the path that leads to the highest welfare, the path of truth, of dharma, of righteousness, of religion. To this Mahavishnu we join in humble salutations. Om Sashanka Chakram Sakirita Kundalam Sapitra Vastam Sarasirovekshanam सहारवक्षस्थलकौस्तुभश्रियं नमामि विष्णु शिरसा चतुर्भुजम् ॐ करोति वाचालम् अङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् ॐ नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलाङ्गं सीतासमारोपितवामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापम् नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम् ॐ रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताय पतये नमः ॐ नीलवर्णं पीतवस्त्रं श्रीवत्सपदभूषितं गोविन्दं गोकुलानन्दं ब्रह्माद्यैरपि पूजितं श्री महाविष्णु भगवानभ्यो नमः नमामि रम्यं सुशोभनं दिव्यं सर्वसौख्यात्परं शुभं
तेरे कन्हैया इसको कहेगा तू मैया तेरे कन्हैया इसको कहेगा तू मैया जिसने तुझको जन्म दिया है जिसने तुझको
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम जन्म सफल होगा रे बंदे मन मेरा बसाए मन मेरा बसाए बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
हे राम नाम के मोती दो सूफी मान बनाए मन मेरा बसाए बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम
जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
हे राम पतित पावन करुणाकर और जरा सुख दाता बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
हे राम पतित पावन करुणाकर और जरा सुख दाता हे मन पावन अति मन भावन राम के प्रीत लगाए मन में राम बसाए बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
हे मोह माया है झूठा बंधन जाग उसे तो प्राणी बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
हो मोह माया है झूठा बंधन जाग उसे तो प्राणी राम नाम की ज्योत जलाकर अपना भाग लगाए मन में राम बसाए बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो
राम जय जय राम बोलो राम
बोलो राम जय जय राम बोलो राम बोलो
प्रेम से श्री महाविष्णु भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. Once again with flowers in hand, we meditate upon Mahashiv Shankar Bhagwan. Shiva symbolizing a reabsorbing aspect of divinity. Atman becomes merged into Paramatman when moksha is achieved. Shiva is called Vardhata, the giver of boons, by repeating the Panchakshar mantra Om Namah Shivaya with love, with devotion. In the puja of Bhagavan Shiva, the simple tendencies inherent within us, brought on by anger, greed, jealousy, covetousness, hatred, pride, envy, all products of the ego, these become burnt in the fires of our devotion. In this manner, we are able to attain purity of thoughts, of words, of deeds, of mind, of intellect, of actions, which are prerequisites for self-realization by offering puja to Bhagavan Shiva with love and with devotion. I invite all now to sit upright to cast away the worldly cares. We all have them. Let's put these at the back of the minds for a little while. Meditate on the most pleasing aspect of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is beyond names and beyond forms. The names and the forms are simple tools that we use to help us to keep the mind from wandering. Let's use these tools now to help us to realize and to imprint the image of Bhagavan within our hearts, asking Him to be the guide of our intellect, guiding us on the path that leads to the highest welfare, the path of truth, of dharma, of righteousness, and of religion too. To this Shiva, we join in humble salutations. Om Pashunam Pating Papa Nasham Paresham Gajendrasya Krityam Vasanam Varenyam Jatajuta Madhye Spurada Gangavarim Mahadeva Mekam Smarami Smararim Om Mahesham Suresham Surarati Nasham Vibhum Vishwanatham Vibhutyanga Bhusham Virupaksham Kavani Trinetram Sadananda Mire Prabhu Panchavatram Om Girisham Ganesham Gale Neelavarnam Gajendra Dhirudam Gunatita Rupam Bhavangha Smarangha Ushitangam Bhavani Galatram Bhaje Panchavatram Om Shivakanta Shambho Shashankar Dhamale Maheshana Shulim Jata Jutadharim Tvameko Jagat Vyapako Vishwarupa Prasidam Prabhu Purnarupam Om Namaste Vibho Vishwamurte Namaste Chidananda Murte Namaste Tapayoga Gamyam Namaste Shruti-gyana Gamyam Om Prabhu Shulapale Vibho Vishwanath Mahadeva Shambho Mahesha Trinetra Shivakanta Shanta Smarare Purare Varanyo Varenyo Namanyo Nagamya Varanyo Varenyo Namanyo Nagamya Om Sri Shiv Shankar Bhagwan Namami Om Ramyam Sashobhanam Divyam Sarvasaukhyakaram Shubham Asanam cha maya daptam Dharna Shiva Shankaram Om Namo Astu Nilagrimayam Sahasrakshaya Midushe Atvaye Asya Satmano Antebhyo Karannama Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukmiva Bandhanam Mrityormukshiyamamritam Om Varunasya Uttam Vanmasi Varunasya Skam Sarjanisto वरुणस्य हरित्सरन्यसि वरुणस्य हरित्सरन्मासि वरुणस्य हरित्सरन्मासि पाद्यमर्घ्यमाचमन्यं स्नानं श्रीशिवशङ्कर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ गोक्षीरधामन्देशं गोक्षीरे मया कृतं स्नापनं देवदेवेश्वराण शिवशङ्करं क्षीरस्नानं श्रीशिवशङ्कर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः पञ्चामृतं मया नीतं पयोदधि समन्वितं घृतं मधु शर्करा च स्नानार्थं प्रतिगृह्यताम् पञ्चामृत स्नानं श्रीशिवशङ्कर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ शुभाल सर्वशुभालो मणिवालस्नाश्विना शक्ता श्वेता क्षुरनस्ते रूपा पशुपति कर्मण्याम अविलिप्ता रौद्रा नमो रूपा पारजन्या गंगाजल स्नानं शुद्धजल स्नानं श्री शिवशंकर भगवान् पूजनम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय नमो नमः प्रेम से बोलो श्री शिव शंकर भगवान की जय शरणं प्रभु
शंभु नमो सत जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर नमो महादेव शंभु नमो सदा शिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर
नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर
भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर गिरिजा शंकर भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर गिरिजा शंकर जय प्रलंकर जय पीतंबर जय शिव शंकर
जय शिव शंकर
हर हर महादेव गौरी मनोहर हर शिव शंकर ओम हर हर महादेव गौरी मनोहर हर शिव शंकर ओम दुख हरने कर सुख भरते कर जय शिव शंकर ओम
महादेव शंभो नमो सदाशिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर ओम
पार्वती शंकर गंगा जटाधर करुणा शंकर ओम पार्वती शंकर गंगा जटाधर करुणा शंकर ओम नीलकंठ धर अखिलेश्वर धर जय शिव शंकर ओम
महादेव शंभो नमो सदाशिव परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर ओम
शिव शंकर नटराज सुंदर हर हर शंकर ओम शिव शंकर नटराज सुंदर हर हर शंकर ओम जय डमरूवर जय कैलेश्वर जय शिव शंकर ओम
महादेव शंभो नमो सदाशिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर ओम
नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदाशिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर ओम नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदाशिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर ओम जय शिव शंकर ओम जय 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 शिव शंकर ओम
प्रेम से शिव शंकर भगवान की जय शरणम प्रभु. We'll now glorify Bhagavan Shiva through the medium of the Panchakshara Stotram and today's short version of Arji.
शिव परमेश्वरा शिव परमेश्वरा हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय रामेश्वरा
त्वं गिरिजामति सहचर प्राण शरीरं ग्रहम् पूजामे विषयोपभोगरचना निद्रा समाधिष्ठितिः सञ्चारापदयोपरक्षणविधिं स्तोत्राणि सर्वागिरो यद्यत् करं करोमि करटखिलं शम्भो तवाराधनम् ॐ करचरन् कृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वा प्राणम् विहितम् अविहितं वा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व जय जय करुणानिधे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो जय जय करुणानिधे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो प्रेम से बोलो शिव शंकर भगवान की जय शरणं प्रभु We shall take prasadam at this time, and of course simultaneously Radha Shiva Abhishekam will go on. Please observe all the COVID rules. I keep repeating them every week. Make sure after you use utensils that are used by other people, you sanitize your hands before you take your seat or before you touch any other part of your body. Alright, it's important that we all observe these hygienic rules so that nobody can go from here and say, well, I got COVID from Voice of Dharma. That's not going to happen here, okay? If you don't observe the rule, then something drastic will be taken. So we don't want to do that. So please, please, please observe all the rules and let's have a safe and wonderful time. And I tell you, after those bhajans that went by this morning, I'm in a real good mood, okay? I don't know about you, but I'm in a real good mood. I hope everybody stays in that mood for the rest of the week. All right? So we'll go to our bhajan singing, and we have a few singers today, but we're going to sing over and over until we get everything right. Please, once again, one person at a time, maintain your distance. And prasadam, same thing, one person at a time and maintain your distances. Thank you. Vishnu Sri Brahma Vidhi Parade Shri Sri Parakalpi Namasya Bal Namasya Mugutrasya Dharmvani Prasadanam Sri Shiv Shankar
कभी राम बने के कभी श्याम बने के चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना कभी राम बने के कभी श्याम बने के चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना ओ चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना कभी राम बन के कभी श्याम बन के चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना तुम्हें शाम में रूप में आना तुम्हें शाम में रूप में आना राधा साथ लेंगे उनके हाथ लेंगे चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना कभी राम बन के कभी श्याम बन के चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना तुम्हें शिव के रूप में आना तुम्हें शिव के रूप में चले आना कभी राम बन के कभी श्याम बन के चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना तुम्हें गणपति रूप में आना तुम्हें गणपति रूप में आना कृति साथ लेंगे सिद्धि हाथ लेंगे चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना कभी राम बन के कभी श्याम बन के चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना कभी राम बन के कभी श्याम बन के चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना ओ चले आना प्रभु जी चले आना
Water on the lingam 3 times. Water on the lingam 3 times. Gangajalam samanitam savarkalshe stitam snanartham devadevesh pratyartham pratigrahitam padyavargyam snanam Sri Shiv Shankar Bhagavan Pujanam Samarpyami.
I was saying that.
This is the Chandra. Rahuli. Chandra, yes. 3 times 3 marks on the page. Make it full round. Chandanam Bharitam Nityam Pavitam Papanashinam Aparam Arti Nityam Lakshmi Vastu Sarvana. And the vermilion is cinnamon. The red one. Cinnamon Shobhanam Raktam Samanam. Yes. All right. No. Not the red one. That keeps them. Alright. You got flowers, put a couple of them. Om Malini Sukhandini Malatini Vetam Mayadakani Pujaram Pushpani Pratigrayatam Iti Pushpadanam Sri Shiv Shankar Bhagavan Pujanam Samarpyami.
मुझे लागी लगन हरि दर्शन की हरि दर्शन की मुझे लागी लगन हरि दर्शन की हरि दर्शन की मुझे लागी लगन जैसे वन में पपिया में
भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम राम चरण गण राम चरण गण राम चरण गण श्याम राम चरण गण राम चरण गण राम चरण गण श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम झूठन छोड़ा क्रोधन छोड़ा झूठन छोड़ा क्रोधन छोड़ा क्यों छाड़े घन श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम ओ राम चरण गए राम चरण गए राम चरण घन श्याम ओ राम चरण गण राम चरण गण राम चरण गण श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण गण श्याम झूठी माया लालच करके झूठी माया लालच करके असल करम घन श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम ओ राम चरण गण राम चरण गण राम चरण घन श्याम ओ राम चरण गण राम चरण गण राम चरण घन श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम जो सुमिरन से अति सुख पावे जो सुमिरन से अति सुख पावे सो सुमिरन घन श्याम ओम भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम ओ राम चरण गण राम चरण गण राम चरण घन श्याम ओ राम चरण गण राम चरण गण राम चरण घन श्याम ओ भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम ओ भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम ओ भजू मन राम चरण घन श्याम
आचमनीयं च मया रक्तं वेदां पुरुषोत्तमं प्रेषितोषि कृष्णचन्द्र भगवान की जय शरणं प्रभु
उन्नत बाल हिमालय पर जब लहराए का तिरंगा, माता लाल जन्मभूमि के काम आए नहीं बड़े भाग है ये, माता लाल
Good one there, Prof. Good one. All right. So one more, and then we'll do provision. You can have one more version. It's not quite time yet. We have plenty singers out here. Everybody want to sing 2 times, and there isn't any. Nobody wants to. It just doesn't make sense.
ओ काम क्रोध और लोभ का मारा जगत न आया राम। हो जब जब राम ने जन्म लिया, काम क्रोध और लोभ का मारा जगत न आया राम। जब जब राम ने जन्म लिया तब तब पाया वनवास, तब तब पाया वनवास। काम क्रोध और लोभ का मारा जगत न आया राम। जब जब राम ने जन्म लिया तब तब पाया वनवास, तब तब पाया वनवास। कलयुग तक चलती आई है सतयुग की ये रीत। कलयुग तक चलती आई है सतयुग की ये रीत। सब कुछ हार चुके जब अपना तब हुए राम के जीत। युग बदले पर बदल न पाया अब तक ये इतिहास। जब जब राम ने जन्म लिया तब तब पाया वनवास, तब तब पाया वनवास। के अपने महल तो महल जंगल जंगल फिरना। छोड़ के अपने महल तो महल जंगल जंगल फिरना। औरों के सुख चैन की खातिर सुख संकट में जीना। यही राम की रेख है रेखा आ गया अब विश्वास। जब जब राम ने जन्म लिया तब तब पाया वनवास, तब तब पहचाना राम हर एक जग में आई पर कौन हुए पहचाना राम की पूजा की जग में पर राम का अर्थ न जाना तकते बूंदे हो गई धरती और आकाश जब जब राम ने जन्म लिया तब तब पाया वनवास तब तब पाया वनवास काम क्रोध और लोभ का मारा जगत न आया रास जब जब राम ने जन्म लिया तब तब पाया वनवास तब तब पाया वनवास तब तब पाया वनवास
प्रेम सियापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम प्रभु. Family and friends, once again, I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you. And don't forget to call in when you're ready to come. And make sure you're feeling well before you come. If you're ill, please don't show up. We don't want you to bring any of your whatever you may have to mix it with other people. So we need to keep safe at this time, even though a lot of us are vaccinated. It doesn't mean we're out of the woods just yet. What is happening, of course, is that people who are vaccinated because of their underlying conditions are still contracting COVID. And like I said many times, if you contract COVID and you're vaccinated, then you're protected. You'll still get ill, but you may not be hospitalized and you probably won't die. Unless you have some really bad underlying conditions, which like Colin Powell, of course, who passed away last week. And unfortunately, he had both vaccination and still died.
He had cancer.
But it happens. We can't stop that from occurring, okay? Let me be honest with you. This is going to happen anyway. But if you're protected, you stand a better chance. And believe me, every single human that resides upon this planet, if they live long enough, they will get COVID eventually. All of us will. But hopefully it will be of a mild kind because of you're vaccinated, right? And take your booster shot as well, especially the older ones and the people with underlying conditions. Don't forget, when it is available, book your appointment and take it. It's important. If you don't, there are two possibilities, of course. You will get COVID and recover, which is good, or you'll get COVID and die, which is bad. But you need to make up that choice yourself. Everyone will die, like I said, but you don't want to hurry it up, do you? This life is too good to hurry death, believe me. We have too much to live for. And as long as there is enough to live for, nobody wants to die. So let's keep that in mind. Behave in a proper manner and keep your distances until we get rid of this business of COVID. We'll all have to live this way for a while. So the more people get involved in trying to rid it, the better we'll all be and the quicker we'll all be in a good situation. So hopefully all of you understand that. And some of you are exposed all the time, like my friend Stanley. He's driving the bus or the streetcar, and he's exposed all the time, so he has to be extra careful. Believe me, this thing is airborne. Plexiglass doesn't do anything, okay? You have to take other precautions. It's good to have it, but it's not going to help you if it came to that. So thank you all for listening to me in that sense and taking care. Let's join in Prarthana this time, and we'll continue with where we left off the last time. Om Lokabhiramam Ranarangadhiram Rajivanetram Raghuvanshanatham Karunarupam Karunakarantam Shri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadyate. last time, of course, Sri Ram was sent into exile. And the reason why we're doing this is to chart a way, chart a map, if you wish, as to how we as humans, using the story of Sri Ram, can work towards overcoming the ego. And while I'm saying this, a few weeks back, 2 weeks now, there was Dussehra, or Vijayadashmi as it's called sometimes, indicating the anniversary of the death of Ravan, the death of ego. Now we as humans, we can't kill ego totally. Okay, I gotta be honest, there will always be some desire in the heart. But what we should be putting there is a desire for liberation instead of a desire for something material. And as long as we have this materialistic instinct with us, then it causes attachment. Attachment only brings grief. Grief and attachment go hand in hand. And attachment, of course, is one of the products of the ego. This is mine, that is mine, that is mine. So when we become like Ravan, we want everything. Anything you see, it's got to be yours. And that's what we want to avoid from happening. We got to live in a non-attached way, because if you're looking for happiness and we have attachment, if you're looking for happiness and we have attachment, we can never ever be happy. We've had some happiness in owning or having some material property, yes. But those are only fleeting and transitory. They are not lasting. But we all want happiness. How often do we want it? Once in a while?
All the time.
All the time, exactly. All the time. Everybody wants to be happy all the time. So as long as we have this, we have this desire for happiness, but we're doing the opposite to achieving happiness. So we get attached to it. And you know, it's so easy to get attached. Think about it this way. When we are parents, when we are children, we are attached to our parents because they supply all our needs. As we become older, we become attached to the spouse because what? They're the source of our happiness for that period anyway. And then all too soon we have kids, of course, and then all the emotions run onto the kids. And we become attached to the children. And believe me, those of us who are attached to our children, we are doomed to disappointment. It cannot be helped. But children actually does teach us lessons, okay? The lessons of patience and how to deal with others come from dealing with your kids. Because they're wayward and they know they can manipulate you all around, okay?
Maybe she'll listen to you, Pandit. Don't listen to me.
I don't know. Children knows exactly which buttons to push to get you going, okay? They know. And how they know? They know from experience. Look at a kid. As soon as they're small, little, they want something, what they do? They start crying. And they will not stop crying until they get what they want. Yes, so how long do you think you're going to give them? As a parent, most parents that I know, they give in. We're all the same. Most of us are anyway. Discipline is something very hard to imbibe into children. And as long as we give in one time, it means we'll give in all the time. And this is how that life is going to continue. And then it only leads to more and more misery. So we attach to our kids when the kids are there. Then we grow older and the kids have kids and you become attached to their grandchildren. And if you live long enough and the grandchildren have kids, you'll become attached to the great-grandchildren too. I don't know how this is going to stop. As long as that attachment is there, we'll be in grief. We cannot help it. So here Sri Ram, just about to be crowned king of Ayodhya. King meaning here, if we can interpret it in a philosophical way, king means master of our own destiny, meaning we're totally happy. But on the eve of his coronation, what happens? Disaster strikes. He's sent into exile. And the exile, of course, as he's leaving, we are now looking at this as how we can actually use it to our advantage to learn the lessons of overcoming. Because this session, this journey that Sri Ram is making here is towards the death of ego, isn't it? Had he not left Ayodhya, Ravan would not be killed. So every little thing of Ramayana leads to this. So we're looking at how we can use this story to help us to learn the lessons that we will need to become unattached and to overcome the ego as well. This sense of I-ness and mine-ness is only going to lead all of us towards unhappiness. And that's one thing we don't want. Nobody wants unhappiness, but nobody wants to give away all their stuff either. So if you say this is mine and you give it away and it's not yours anymore, you got to do without, isn't it? So let me put it to you this way. Hinduism does not say you must give away all your stuff, right? It does not say you must give away everything that you own and become a recluse. After all, there are 4 Purusharthas which we need to heed. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. And we can change it, the order in which those are. Because Moksha is the last one, yes. But Dharma is an ongoing thing. It never stops. Because if we live righteously, we can last forever. But then the Artha is the means of obtaining material wealth. Why? Because we live in a world where you need it. But if we use it for the benefit of the upliftment of humankind, it becomes proper use, dharmic use. We use it only to put in the bank and do nothing there and maybe making interest, yes. Nowadays no interest either, you know that. We don't know when that will change. But if you put it in there, it's not doing anybody any good. And I gotta be honest, I have some, I put it there too, like everybody else. But tell me to give it away, I use it for good things. At least I think I do. And I'm sure all of you think you do as well. But most of us use it on useless stuff. You know, we got tan, man and dhan. Body, mind and wealth. These are our resources. Everybody has them. But what we do? We use the man and the dhan to enrich the body only, instead of the other way around. So we need to break some of the habits that we've put ourselves into. And you know, the system is set up in such a way that this is not easy to do. I understand that. Our system is set up very badly. It's set up in a materialistic way. Even the laws of the Western laws all protect property before human life. You know that? Mm-hmm. Protection of property comes before human life. They kill people because of property. This is how the system is set up, and the laws are set up the same way. What can we do about it? Not sure. I don't know. One person cannot change it, but one person can make changes to change the world. But one person cannot change the world all by himself. He needs others to work with him as well. Like Gandhi says, be the change you want to see. Yes, I understand that very well. I would like to be the change that people see too, or I see. But were you working against the system? And that is a very difficult thing, but we'll see. So when we left the last time, geez, I don't talk too much here. Gotta read something too. We'll start with the Doha where we left off the last time. So when Sri Ram is making his way now into the wilderness, or he's about to go, lo and behold, everyone in Ayodhya is sad. It's the same way for us too. Everyone in Ayodhya means all our thoughts, all of the things that we have within, all the emotions and so on, they become sad. Why? Because we are losing our happiness. And when you lose happiness, what happens? Sadness, grief descends upon us. So Rama is the happiness that we all want, and he is about to leave. Ayodhya, of course, is symbolic of the human body. Rama is the source of that body, or the energy that makes the body work. So let's look at it from that angle. Doha.
Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Siya Ram.
Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Siya Ram.
Jai Siya Ram, Jai Jai Siya Ram.
All the horses, the elephants, the animals kept for pleasure, the urban cattle, the cuckoos, the peacocks, the coals, the check of the olive birds, the swans and the partridges. What happens to all these things? They were all in the city of Ayodhya. All these are residing there as well. These are symbolic of our feelings and our thoughts that resides within us. In Ayodhya, there are many things happening. In the human body, many things are going on too. Once something bad happens, you find that everything starts to now work against you. And that's not only external, but internal. When you become depressed, what happens? It could drive you nuts. People become depressed and crazy too. And why? Because the internal system isn't working the way it's meant to. Same way, Tulsidas is describing what is happening in Ayodhya, the city of Ayodhya. The city of Ayodhya is right here. It's you and me and everyone else. We are a unit unto ourselves. Ayodhya is us. Chopai. They all stood dismayed. They are total loss, as we are confused when something bad happens. Dismayed at Sri Rama's departure. They look like so many pictures, and you know, this is the thing. When you go to a funeral home, for instance, and you look at the crowd there and you look at the family experiencing grief, they don't know what to do. They're walking around, they go, they look at the casket, they come back, they sit down, they go do the same thing again over and over and over and over. Same thing. Why? Because of the attachment, the grief that they have within. They're unable to cope. And they think that going and looking at the corpse is going to help them to come to some closure. It's not an easy thing, believe me. Rama's departure from Ayodhya is just like death. You know, every time we go to Wake House, what do we read? From Ramcharitmanas, we read the parting of Dashrath. We need the departure of Sri Ram from Ayodhya. And next week, I want one of you to learn Rama Chorachale, Rama Ayodhya Chorachale. This is exactly the sound that you'll be using here, actually. I don't know it myself, I don't have a copy, but I hope one of you do know it. So we'll put it in somewhere during the Katha next time to make sure that we're not going very far here, are we? Because we're already coming to an end. So really and truly. So this is like a picture that is drawn. Everybody is standing around with nothing to do and they don't know what to do. And in the same way in Ayodhya, they're all crying, yes, but they don't know what to do. Everybody is confused and lost because only the night before, all preparation was set for the happiest day in the existence of Ayodhya. And within hours, total dejection, total grief. The city resembles some dense forest full of fruit, and the many men and women in it like so many birds and beasts. Tulsidas using a simile here to describe the fruits are there, but the birds and the bees and the animals are not eating them. They're crying instead. It's so sad when you think about this scene. I don't know how many you watch movies of Ramayana and you've seen this scene with many directors trying to portray the kind of grief that Ayodhya felt at that point. These are actors doing it, but they did a good job, I'll be honest with you. And you should look at it sometime because it's really, really sad at what is happening. But to go through the process of ridding ourselves of the ego, we have to go through this. This is the whole idea. As long as the ego is there, grief will be there, yes, but not, this is the kind of grief that is going to be experienced because of the ego. And Rama is doing it as a duty to mankind, as an example that we may learn and follow. We'll close with this Chopai. I got to be honest. There even been songs about this, when you think about it. But the thing is, all these actions are to be played because the ego has to be destroyed. And the only way that's going to happen is if things happen the way they have here. So here, Tulsi is writing in this description here, Bhagwan has made Kaikeyi a savage Kiratin, that's a wild woman of the woods, who has set the whole forest ablaze. So the forest is burning down because this woman has set it ablaze. Unable to endure the fire of separation from Ram, everybody is fleeing in panic. Now think about this, we'll examine this the next time. But I'd like you to put some thought into it as what is happening here and how we can use this to our own advantage. If anybody come up with any ideas, give me a shout. Otherwise, I'll have to pass my ideas on to you. How's that? It's just as good, don't worry. It's all dharmic in nature. So this is what we are all about here. But my friends, Ramayana is a wonderful tale. It's excellent for telling human stories. And every human, we all have a story to tell. Everyone has a story. Everybody's life is a story, isn't it? Mine may be boring, and it is. But it's still a story. I can't write a book with it. I have to make fiction. That's why fiction is so popular. But these are real life stories that comes out of Ramcharitmanas. And they examine every aspect of life, from being a king to being the beggar of the street and being an outcast. Everything is included in here. And as we go through, we'll learn these lessons as we look to see how to bring this ahamkar to an end. And all of us have it. We have it. We cannot live if we didn't have it. It's a survival instinct that nature has placed in us. It's not that we don't have it, but how to keep it in control. That's the main thing. It's like our mind. Everybody has a mind. How do you control it from running away with every thought that comes into it? Every thought, you want this, you want that, and it's all over, you get confused. We have to bring the mind under some kind of control and use it for justice, for truth, and for the progression of dharma. That's how it's going to work. Right now, it's Priya Hit Labh. You know what that is, right? It's a likeness, Priya, hit, protection, labh, gain, loss and gain. So this is how we operate right now. So we can't look at only gain all the time. We got to look at justice, truth, dharma. Then life begins to take a different turn. But until that happens, means we got to work on it. And you know, don't be in a hurry to leave this world, okay? It has too many wonderful things that we need to still see, still do, still achieve. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you for those who are following us on Facebook. My friend Ravin is missing today, so if Facebook is coming through my phone, I hope you're able to catch it. Is it broadcasting on Voice of Dharma? Good. So we got it right then. And hopefully Ravin will be here next week and help us out again, and we'll be using the Voice of Dharma phone to do it. So thank you all for those of you who are in virtual land and those who are here. Now, like I said, all the time, for those of you who are in virtual land, the feeling is never the same. You can learn the lessons, yes, but the feeling that goes, and I gotta be honest again today, when that Namah Shivaya was being sung, I gotta be so praiseful of Amarji. He put so much feeling into that thing. You know, I said last time my hair was standing up at the back of my head. Now it's on my arm as well. So, I don't have much at the back, but I have on my arm. It's plenty.
Pandit, I'm going to tell you the secret behind it. Nobody thinks about this. It's the dholak player. Trust me. If you get the dholak player to go with you, trust me, the walls will come down.
I believe that. It's true. But it's the swar as well. The swar that you use there, it's excellent, man. That I tell you, that swar is just pleasing. Pleasing to the ear, pleasing to the mind, pleasing to everything. I gotta be honest. The feeling I get when I'm in here, if I miss it, I miss this really too. My thoughts will always be on here, right? And what is going on. So even when I'm not here, I'm here. But not in body, but in spirit. So thanks again for being here. Thanks for everything and for participating with us. So I'm inviting all of you, if you want to come, please call me first and set your time and your date. And we'll try to get everybody accommodated so that we don't overcrowd the place. Until COVID is gone, we have to do this. So we have two, now first of all, let me go with the announcement before I go with the donations. We are having Deepavali, of course, celebrating on the 4th. Now, there are some controversy about the timing here. So I'll tell you what the timing is. The timing is this. At 8:54, the Amawas starts. 8:54 p.m. on the 3rd, which is on the Wednesday. Now, if you're a Diya lighter, that means you got to light before the Deepavali, right? Because the Amawas doesn't start until 8:54 p.m. But if you want to observe the 3rd, you can do it at 8:54 and after. And it finishes at 5:14 p.m. the following day, but it's already evening, right? So it means that the Amawas is done at that particular time, and the new moon starts from then. So we are going to still observe the Deepavali celebrations here in this temple on the 4th instead of the 3rd. All right, do we understand that? So for those of you who are questioning as to why some people are observing the 4th and some the 3rd, this is the reason. They want to do it before, that's their business. I can't help people. I can't help that. This is one in a few times when this kind of stuff happens. It doesn't happen all the time. Usually the Amavas extends into the evening of the following day. It doesn't in this case, but it is what it is. We just have to accept it as it is. So we will be celebrating Deepavali, 7:30 p.m., 4th in this temple. If you are coming, let me know so I can book you in there so that we can all join and act safely while we are in here. So that's the 3rd. Regular service continues. It's been a busy period since the Janmashtami. Of course, after Janmashtami came the Pitru Paksh, after Pitru Paksh came the Navaratri, after Navaratri came now Deepavali. So everything falling one after the other in the fall. And of course, this is in preparation for the winter months that are going to come now, when nature pulls itself in and becomes denuded with the cold. Well, it is what it is, and we have to take it one day at a time and work along with it. We can't do anything about it. You got to live with it. We got to learn how to live with it too. So this is what it is. So thank you all for coming, and if you are coming,
How long it will be from 8:54 5 p.m. to?
it's 8:54 p.m. until the following day, the 4th, 5:14 p.m. That's the amount.
And that is the period.
Yeah, that's the bigger piece. Yeah. All right, so
So
that's.
in Punjab we celebrate 2 Diwali, Choti Diwali, Badi Diwali.
Yeah, I know. And it's a 5-day period anyway. You got starting with Dhanteri, you got after that you got Narak Chaturdashi, after that Deepavali, after Deepavali Bhaiya Dooj, and Govardhan Puja, then Bhaiya Dooj. So all happening within a 5-day period. So we'll be speaking about that when we talk about Deepavali. So it's not like you're out of it if you take a little time out. Okay, it depends on people's personal choices. If you make your choice, you live with it. That's all. That's how it is. So thanks all for coming, and we have 2 donations here. Our executive member Ishana hasn't showed up since we started back, but she sent a donation for $80 donation, membership 20, 2 years, she said. And we have a do not announce, please absolutely do not announce. Absolutely do not announce. $100. So thank you for the donation so much. We welcome it. So with that in mind, I think we just have about 5 minutes to finish our RT and close it. Thank you. Let's start.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कललित सियापी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कललित सियापी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कललित सियापी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कललित सियापी की आरती मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद सुत सनकादिशेष अनुसारद वर्णि पवन सुत कीरति नीति आरती श्री रामायण संतन को सर्व
मत सारंग सममत सब ही आरती
तेरा
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कल कललित सिय पीती आरती आवत संकट शंभु भवानी अरुधत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यासराजि कवि पुण्य बखानी काहु शुंभी गरुड़ केती आरती आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कल कलित सिय पीती कलिमल हरनि विषरस भीति सुभग सिंगार मूर्ति जुभती धन रोग भव मूर्य मीति काट माट सब विधि तुलसी की आरती श्री कीर्ति कलित सिय पीती आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कल कलित सिय पीती आरती कीर्ति कल कलित सिय पीती आरती श्री रामायण जी कीर्ति कल कलित सिय पीती हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल
केशव माधव गोविंद बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल
मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल
हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि हरि बोल
केशव माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव गोविंद बोल केशव माधव गोविंद बोल
Alright, before I forget, we do have the 2022 calendars, and if you haven't taken some yet, please take 10 off gold and sell them out or distribute them amongst your family members. We are asking for a donation of not less than $2 to cover the cost. It has all the important dates and some of the timings as well. So please help us to pass the word around and the knowledge around so that everybody is able to observe the time that they want to. Thank you so much. Let's join in our closing. Om Shantaram Bhujagasharam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasahasham Vedavarnam Savanam Lakshmikantam Kamalhayanam Yogi Vinayam वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम् ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा ॐ बार बर्मा प्रभो हर्ष देव श्रीराम पद सरोजन पायनी भक्ति सदा सतसंगस्या भज रामचंद्र की जय शरणं प्रभु उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय सिया भज रामचंद्र की जय शरणं प्रभु ओमावहनं न जानामि विसर्जनं पूजा चैव न जानामि क्षमस्व परमेश्वरो द्यौ शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरौषधय शान्तिर्वनस्पत्य शान्तिर्विश्वदेव शान्तिर्ब्रह्मा शान्तिः सर्वगं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम प्रेम से श्री शिव शंकर भगवान की जय शरणं प्रभु थैंक यू Oh yes, our helpers are not here today. We could use all the help on the hands we can get to get clean up and people can go home early. Please help us out.